The Importance of Communication in Business Management by Mirjana Radovic Markovic and Aidin Salamzadeh. Let's start with introduction. Communication is the evoking of a shared or common meaning in another person. These kind of skills are important to everyone. It concerns about how we give and receive information and convey our ideas and opinions with those around us. It is one of the most important tools in the process of management. It influences every function of management. Managers at various levels use the communication system to plan, organize, direct, and control activities and efforts of people. Every organization should build an effective system of communication for facilitating job performance and promoting satisfaction among people. Objective: all participants and organization will have to interact. The strategies in communication must have to maintain exchange of the information, the achievement of the organizational goals, the communication process, and its function for the environment and business management. Communication objectives are goals for messages or programs of communication. They are used to identify your audience, craft message, and evaluate results. Communication objectives is a broad term that can apply to areas such as marketing, sales, knowledge work, creative works, public speaking, governance, management, and leadership. The following are illustrative examples of communication objectives. Let's move on into the methodology. There are many methods or techniques of communication depending on the nature, scope, and level of technology in those of application of information in the organization. Like oral communication that express information through the use of languages, which is composed of words and grammar. Then the message is communicated either on oral form or written form. And the other one is the electronic communication. And many big companies or organizations where computerization has gained a lot of ground, much information is transferred between subsystems by computers. Information systems play a vital role in the e-business and e-commerce operations, enterprise collaboration and management, and strategic success of businesses that must operate in an internet world global environment. Without good communication, things may not get done correctly or even at all, or work could be done twice, overlapping each other, which can be wasteful and costly. Good communication is essential for the operation of business in all aspects. That is how the effective communication works. Let's proceed to result and discussion. The encoder of an information cannot know whether the message therein is effective or not unless he receives a feedback from the decoder. It is only when the decoder can digest or understand the full meaning and implication of the message that he produces a feedback to the encoder. However, communication process in modern organizations normally follows the pattern below. The sender has an idea. It serves as an encoder. The idea becomes a message. Remember that the process of putting the message into a form the receiver will understand is called encoding. The message is transmitted to the receiver. The receiver gets the message and interprets it, a process known as decoding. And the receiver Feedback the sender about the effectiveness of the information that was communicated. Management control is a systematic effort by organizations management to compare performance with predetermined standards, plans, or objectives. These help to determine whether actual performance is in line with this standard, presumably in order to take remedial action to see that human or corporate resources are being used most efficiently and effectively. I will introduce you a kind of an informal channel that it moves primarily through word of mouth, and one common form is the grapevine. Informal communication structures have no set direction, and they evolve from employees' interpersonal and social interactions. Grapevine, usually one of four structures, as follows. First is the single strand chain. In the single strand chain, each person passes the information on to one other person. The longer the chain, the more the information is prone to distortion. Second is the gossip chain. In this case, information is moved slowly because it depends on one person telling everyone else. Third, the probability chain. This is the type of information which has no definite pattern of communication. One person passes along information at random and receiver in turn passes it randomly to others. So, some people hear the information and others do not. The last one is the cluster chain. This is the most predominant pattern. Information is passed along selectively. One employee passes information to co-workers who passes it along to other co-workers. In this grapevine structure, people relay information to those with whom they feel most comfortable. That is why employees consider the grapevine as a highly credible source, so they cannot ignore information that flows through it. Managers can use it to unofficially propose new ideas and monitor employee reaction to them. The response, however, gives clues to how the proposal could be reversed for better acceptance. And now, here we are at conclusion. Business communication is vital in business success. For communication to be effective, it should embrace good relationships with major stakeholders of a business. Communication means more than just giving out message. It involves speaking, listening, sending, and receiving message. In conclusion, effectively communication can be a very useful tool when it comes to confrontation. There is a certain need for control when it comes to successfully communicating. Next is recommendation. Effective communication in the workplace can reduce disputes between employees and management. When dealing with a business, can use effective communication to convey and reducing misunderstanding between a business and its clients. Employers should incorporate into their business model techniques and strategies to improve workplace communication and implement these policies with the aid of management. Let's move into the gaps. The opinion or attitude change in the context of such variables as the credibility of the information source, fear, organizations of arguments, the rule of group, membership and resisting or accepting communication, and personality differences. This concept is incredibly important to remember in the corporate environment. Companies are made up of various types of employees and managers, each with their own personalities and viewpoints. Therefore, it is important to remember to respect everyone's opinion no matter how different they may be. And now here we are at the limitation. The environment exerts considerably influence on the behavior of an organization at the same time. The organization can do little or nothing to control the behavior of the environment. The notion of closure in a conversation is essential because leaving a conversation up in the air or even with hostility can often result in damaging or breaking business relationships. Good communication is necessary in order for business to run successfully and smoothly. And here is the related and studies literature. Communication researchers have increasingly sought to connect and to integrate effects across levels of analysis, which is from the micro to the macro. It is the social cognitive theory of Albert Bandura, 1986, and the trans-theoretical model of James Prochaska, 1994. Their examples is: recognize that an individual's behavior is formed in the context of the larger community and social environment. Therefore, planned intervention must include efforts to change the larger environment as well. That is the end of the video. Thank you for watching and listening. My name is Marilyn Celeste, BSBA FM 1D. Thank you and have a great day!